Greetings and welcome to episode 9 of Blow and Win with the Great Southern Brain Fart. This time around we're talking to Jess, lead vocalist for Jess and the Ancient Ones. Known primarily by one name and one name only, Jess is the lead vocalist for Finnish psych rock masters, Jess and the Ancient Ones. She's also a singer, a songwriter, a mother, and she's just an all-around badass, to be honest. It was really cool of Jess to take the time out to talk to me, even though she had the flu, and it was a real treat. Jess doesn't usually do press at all because she's pretty shy and generally hasn't been her thing in the past, but because of our friendship, she felt comfortable opening up and just having a nice casual conversation with me. It was really cool because we talked about her future plans of even doing some of her own material. We talked about her role as Jess and the Ancient Ones lead vocalist. And we just talked. It was great. And I hope you'll enjoy this episode of Blow and Win with the Great Southern Brain Fart featuring Jess from Jess and the Ancient Ones.
She got a fever, it burns inside. There's nothing to do.
Well, I appreciate you doing this and taking the time to do my little podcast here.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, so it's so interesting because I've got the chance to talk to Mr. Corpse, and we got to talk about all kinds of cool stuff, Jess and the Ancient Ones. But I noticed that you don't do a whole lot of press or interviews. Do you like doing them, or is it kind of like weird for you?
It's weird though, but yeah, I like this because you're kind of you're a friend, so it's easy to do this. It doesn't feel any awkward. But yeah, in the beginning of the Jess and the Ancient Ones, I had that kind of line that I didn't want to do any interviews, and somehow it kind of we grow when we get older, and you get different kind of thoughts about things, and yeah, now I'm willing to do interviews.
That's actually really cool. Well, first off, I love that we've become friends over the years because it's such a rare thing. I always tell people that when you get to become friends with one of your favorite all-time bands, and so it's always a very neat thing. But what I also love about that, though, is that it kind of gives me the opportunity, not just as a friend, but as a fan of the music, to kind of get a little deeper, and more acquainted with the artist and the artist in you and what it is that the creative process and things like that. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about was something that you had told me about earlier, was that you've been working on some of your own compositions and whatnot. Is this something that's new for you? Because I know that Tommy, or Mr. Corpse, is the songwriter mainly in Jess and the Ancient Ones, and he told me how the process usually works, about how he'll bring in an idea and he will basically everybody in the band gets to kind of get their input. Now you're kind of working on something yourself right now too. What is that about? What inspired you to try your own composition?
Well, when my husband, he bought me a piano in 2010, I don't know, or 2012, but many years ago. And I went to the piano classes when I was younger, but I didn't learn any, the theoretical part of it, because I had so good ear that I could, when the teacher played something, so I played after her.
Right.
I'm going there where the fence is. low, as we say in Finland.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been doing my songs, a kind of singing songwriter songs with the piano in like 5-6 years now, and I want to make something concrete, an album, because I know I have the capacity. What's the word?
The ability or the capacity?
The ability, yes. The ability to do it, so.
Is it going to be similar to, like, the sound of the Jess and the Ancient Ones, or is it going to be something that's a little more, like, how would you describe what it is that you're looking to do on your own?
Well, I'm not good to categorize things. But it's kind of rock or blues, and like Timo from the Jess and the Ancient Ones, he helped me to do. We had played those songs like a year ago in a rehearsal place, and he said like the Nick Cave meets Kate Bush or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But now, because I've learned to play guitar, and my dream is to play guitar in my own project, so it's taking it to a kind of different kind of way.
Like a different direction.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because, I always wondered, especially with your involvement with Jess and the Ancient Ones, you guys have been busy, very busy lately, it seems. My first time even really getting introduced to you guys was shortly before you toured North America with King Diamond. So I was as excited to see you guys as I was King Diamond. The audiences seemed to really receive you guys well, and that was your first time touring the States. For you being the front person, like the singer right up front, how was that for you to kind of play to an American audience for the first time when you're more used to playing to European audiences? Was there much of a difference, or like, what was that like for you?
Of course, it was exciting because I don't know if the States, they weren't heard about us, and we were wondering how are they going to act when they're going to see us. So a little bit nervous, yes, but at the same time, I have a kind of growing moment, because before that I didn't really enjoy, doing shows to perform, and when we got there, I just came. I had a daughter with me, and she was like 8 months back then, and something in me like snapped. Like, I have to be, for example, and show to my daughter how to do things, So it was very inspiring and growing experiments, the whole King Diamond thing.
Because it was so fascinating to me, because when I saw you in Atlanta, a friend of mine came down from North Carolina, which is probably about 6 hours he drove to come down to the show, and he was equally as excited to see Jess and the Ancient Ones, and we just thought everything about your performance as a front person is just so captivating, and like it really captures your attention. And just even watching in the videos, like from other shows, as the band has grown over the years, you really have developed a comfort, it seems like, to being in that role. Do you have to do anything to kind of get you into that mindset before you go on stage, or does it just kind of just happen very naturally for you?
It just happens. Of course, I have rituals before the show, all the warming up the voice and doing my makeup and putting my dress on and stuff like that. But I don't know. I love it. I love to be badass,
Yeah.
Because Jess is a badass.
That's funny, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, is that, is there seems to be a difference between Jess and Jasmin, kind of like how there's a difference between Alice Cooper on stage and Alice Cooper off stage, like, would you agree with that like when you're on stage, it's almost like you become a different entity of sorts?
Yes, maybe, or something. I'm still me, but something changes,
Like, you're still yourself, obviously, but like a different kind of energy kind of takes over, and it almost like you I know, like when I perform on stage, sometimes I don't feel like I wouldn't act that way always, like just in a normal situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel very like the music moves me and it makes me move, and and feel a certain way, and when that feeling's gone, like, it's like immediately I want it back, so you guys have been doing a lot of shows lately, though. So, like, when you play festivals, correct? Like, you're playing with like a lot of other bands, and then when you play as just Jess and the Ancient Ones by yourselves, say it's like maybe like with like one other band, is there one that you like better than the other?
No, I can't say so, because of course there's differences, and there's different kind of situations, and but the people, the crowd, they're like, it doesn't matter is it festival or our show or how, but the energy of the audience, it kind of can't be same.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to tell you. Like, there can't be just, sorry, my bad English.
No, you're doing great.
I'm trying. Like, there's like individuals, like, you are like your own, I'm like me,
right?
And so the crowds, every crowd is different,
correct,
and the energy is different. So because of course in the festivals there's more people, and less people when we do like Jess and the Ancient Ones in clubs or so. I don't know.
Is there one that you favor more? Like, do you like playing to do you feel more comfortable playing to, because I know some artists prefer big crowds, and then some artists say, oh, I like the smaller, intimate crowds because, they feel more connected to the audience, Is there or is there one that you have a favorite of, or do you kind of feel like they're both the same as far as like connection?
It depends. They're kind of the same. It depends about the energy of the crowd. If there's like 5 people and they're going nuts, then like 100 people or 1,000 people who don't go nuts. But of course, like when we went to the North America and there were big crowds, we don't have that kind of crowds in Finland when we do the tours. So I think it's not so personal then.
Right.
Yeah. So you kind of have to pick up faces from the crowd to get, some energy.
That's so interesting that you said that, because I remember I watched an interview with Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden one time, and he said that when he plays on stage, like what he likes to do is look for the farthest face in the audience that he can find, and make eye contact with that person and say like, I'm watching you, and the guy's like,
Yeah.
Me? You're watching me? You know? And he said the guy's like way in the back, you know, but he's like, that's where you get that energy. And I feel the same way as like, as far as playing, you know, like my band plays to like 20 people sometimes, but when we play to 20 people who are like really into it, it's so much cooler than playing to 100 people where like 20 people are into it. You know what I mean? Because then you're just like, why are the rest of you here? Just go home, you know, and like let these people enjoy it, you know. But well, that's really cool because, you know, I've watched a lot of the YouTube shows and whatnot, you know, like people filming you guys on YouTube and stuff. And the live performances seem to have gotten so much stronger over the years, which says a lot because, you know, I fell in love with Jess and the Ancient Ones the first time I heard you. And getting to see you live was this really magical experience. But then to see you guys performing live now, it's like there is so much growth and energy. And the funny thing is that you guys have even lost 2 members. So now you've gone from like 7 to 5, but yet got better, which doesn't usually, if that makes sense, it doesn't translate a lot of times. Like sometimes like it's like, oh, if you lose members of a band, you might not play as good, you know, but Jess and the Ancient Ones seemed to find this new power with just being 5. How do you like it compared to being the 7 that you were?
Well, I feel that it's so long time ago, so I don't remember.
It has been a while,
Yeah. But I don't know, we have so good environment in our band, and the 5 people are very we have a commitment to the band, so it feels natural, good. And of course, when we were 7, it was harder to get to place A from place B, because so.
It's like logistically it's harder to make things happen. You know, when it's like it's not like more is more, you know, like less is more actually in this case, you know. But and it's probably easier to travel now too. Now there's only 5. Seven people in a van is a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. Now we get in the car, we all get into that kind of normal car
as opposed to a big van. Now, are there any plans for Jess and the Ancient Ones to return to the United States at all? I know I asked Mr. Corpse this, and he said maybe, and I said, well, maybe I'll ask my friend Jess, and maybe she'll have a secret or something, but I don't know.
I hope so. I really hope so. But it's hard to get there, you know.
Yeah.
The flights are expensive, and we don't have any person in States who would kind of do this kind of things for us.
Like a promoter, basically? Yeah.
So, I don't know. Because I know we can't make it on our own.
Yeah, it's so hard because so many of my favorite bands, like you guys, Graveyard, you know, Graveyard's one of the few bands that are like, you know, I feel like all my favorite bands don't live in America, so I've jokingly said I need to just move to like Finland or Sweden, so I can just see you guys all the time. You know, I'll just like maybe you can just let me crash on your couch or something, you know. But
welcome, you're welcome.
But just for a little while. I'm sure I'll get on your nerves after a while. But I've heard from so many European bands that it really is. It's very costly. It's hard to come over to the States. But has there ever been talks of maybe coming over as like a package tour? Do you know what I mean? Like with like other bands and stuff, maybe like getting together or even coming as an opening act. But I would assume it would have to be someone like big, like King Diamond, where it would make it worth your while to come over, you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea, but I haven't heard about those kind of conversations.
We guys need to have those conversations because I want to see y'all back here.
Yeah, I know.
So the album has been out for a little while now. I thought it was a brilliant piece, but it was not the album I was expecting you guys to make, because like I got so used.
What you were expecting?
Well, because it's a good thing, because I think that when you love a band and you're used to the type of music that they're making, you kind of have this like expectation of like, oh, I bet the next album is going to be like this. And then, when the previous album, we had like, what was it? Goodbye Virgin's Grounds Forever, which was this like incredible 20-minute piece. And then all of a sudden, like the songs were like 2.5 minutes long. And I was like, oh no. I was like, am I going to like this? And then all of a sudden I listened to it and it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, So, but now that you've had some time with it, like, do you look back on that record and kind of say, like, I wish we would have done something a little differently? Or are you just very happy with it?
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy with it. Because I remember when the last album, the second Psychedelic Coming, I didn't like the vocal sound of it.
Interesting. Can you tell me more about that? Because I never thought about that.
Well, I don't know. It's processed somehow. I like it in natural and raw. What I mean?
Yeah.
So this is much better now.
Oh, you meant more in the production side, right? Like that it sounded processed. Okay, I see. I didn't catch that though, but
okay.
I'm sure.
But I'm so with my voice, I'm so nothing's. You can always be better, of course, when you're talking about just singing. But that was a kind of producer thing. So in the Horse and Other Weird Tales, there's nothing much done to the voice,
right?
Or anything else, because the sound in the beginning, they were so good, so don't have to really do anything to them.
Because I did notice that the Horse and Other Weird Tales was much raw.
Yeah,
it sounded much more raw, and even more than the first album. Like the first album sounded to me, even though the first album sounded very natural, and it almost sounded kind of analog sounding. Like the Horse really to me kind of sounded like really raw, and like I've always said, like that your vocal intro in The Shining was like I just love to sing along. Of course, I sound like a dying chicken when I sing it, but like I could feel, that there was definitely more like of an energy and a confidence in your voice than in the previous albums. Did that confidence come from just playing more and touring more or whatever, or because I know as a singer for myself, I'm very judgmental of my voice, I'm not the kind of person that says like, I have a great voice, it needs no work. Like every time I hear myself sing,
but
I go,
you have, and I know it.
Oh, I love that. And I've got audio proof that one of my favorite singers likes my voice. But as a singer though, right? Every time you hear yourself, you go, oh, I could do that better. I could do that. I could do better, And it kind of pushes you to do better. So like going into say like the next album's worth of material, what would you find yourself doing to kind of push yourself more? I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, but first I want to answer that first question about what was interesting. About the confidence.
Yes.
part. Of course, the singing is it's psychophysic. It's different to play instrument like guitar or bass, because when you sing, that you are your instrument, and everything affects to it. You know, if you have mentally bad day, or you have worries, anything, if you're happy, you can hear it in your voice. And I don't know, I usually, after we have recorded an album, I'm happy for a little while, you know. But then because the singing is a whole life process, you can be better and better and better if you train and sing. And of course now it's like half years ago when we recorded The Horse and the Other Weird Tales, I hear many mistakes and many things that I would do differently now. But you have to have perspective, because, you know, now I'm happy because I know I'm a better singer now than I was 6 months ago.
Right.
And also, when you are doing record, I used to they were very stressful, you know, situations. But now my mindset is different now, and I just think that I'm doing my best with the abilities I have at the moment, and it has to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like sometimes you can try too hard, and if you try too hard, it shows. But if you know your abilities, but you try to push it just a little bit more, sometimes that's where that magic comes from, you know. Like my own band tells me a lot of times, like when they'll be like, you know, try to push that a little harder, and I'll go, oh, I can't. They'll go, just try it, and then all of a sudden I try it, and it sounds a little weird at first, but then if I keep doing it, then I go, oh wait, I can do this. You know, like it's like, you know, so it really boosts your confidence, and obviously you have the support of a great band who must really be very inspiring to you and push you as a vocalist.
Yes, that's true, because we have a so good environment to do things, and I'm not afraid to, you know, do new things and play with my voice in a rehearsal place, and I know that nobody's gonna judge me, and that's a very important thing.
Well, because that's the place to make it happen, you know, is you know, like if your band is really, truly honest with you, they're never going to let you do something that they think won't work. Like, because, you know, like, I don't think my bandmates would ever say, oh, gee, Don, that sounds great. You know, and then all of a sudden I get up on stage and I try it, everyone's like, that sucks. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me, you know? So, you know, but you guys definitely, especially when I talked to Tommy, have a very close relationship. But one of the things that attracted me so much to Jess and the Ancient Ones in general was just the overall lyrical content of the songs. There's a lot of esoteric kind of almost mystical kind of, I hope these words are making sense to you, you know, but like, and as a songwriter who doesn't write these kinds of songs, but from a personal spiritual standpoint, you know, I'm not Christian. I don't have any Christian fundamental beliefs or anything, but I'm also not, you know, Satanist, because I don't believe in God. So, but anyway, the long story being is that the lyrics of the songs really connected with me, because they seem to be on this kind of, again, like this esoteric left-hand path kind of place. Is that where you are as a person? I hope that's not too personal to ask, and if it is, you don't have to answer. But Is that kind of part of your own personal beliefs too? And if so, is that why it's easy to connect with the lyrics when you're singing the songs?
Yes, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I have my other kind of thoughts about life and stuff like that. Yeah, it has been very natural to me, and and all the lyrics from the Jess and the Ancient Ones, I have always felt that it's easy to me to relate them.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes it feels like they are my words, which are, when you're doing good lyrics,
Exactly.
you can connect people. Yeah.
Because if you don't really have a belief in what you're singing, it doesn't come across. Like I remember when I first heard you guys, I swore you wrote the lyrics, and so I was very surprised to find that you weren't actually the one that was writing a lot of the lyrics.
Yeah.
But now that you're writing and you're talking about doing some things on your own, is there room in there for you to contribute lyrically to Jess and the Ancient Ones in the future, or do you kind of feel like you have to have your own thing to do, your own thoughts and whatnot?
I want to have my own, because I know, because I have so, the vision, the artistic vision that I have, it's so strong that I'm not willing to compromise.
Oh no, that's very true. Yeah.
And so I'm really waiting to something to happen and make things to happen.
So when you do this kind of thing, obviously you have the support of your bandmates and everything, and they obviously are very supportive of you. Is this something that we'll see pretty soon, or is this going to take a good while? Like, are we going to have to wait a long time?
Well,
because I want to hear it now. So,
the songs are kind of ready.
Mm-hmm.
I have more, but I have to do some arrangements with them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a drummer at the moment and she's willing to play with me, and she's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And also Timo from the Jess and the Ancient Ones.
Oh yeah,
he's in it too. So I hope next year maybe.
I would love that. Now, would you just be releasing it under your name, or do you have a band name for it, or a project
I'm
name
not
for
sure
it?
yet.
You're still trying to figure that out?
Yeah.
It must feel exciting though to have an outlet to do your own material. Like you said, like that you don't have to compromise, because everything about being in a band is about compromise. But when you're doing your own thing, it's yours. It's your own vision without any change.
Yeah. Of course, I'm willing to take, good ideas, and of course, when we're going to play it in the band, it kind of gets its own form.
Mm-hmm. So what is going on with Jess and the Ancient Ones now? Are you guys still playing out shows in support of the thing, the horse? The Thing is a whole nother thing. The Thing, that might be the next album. The Thing and Other Strange Horses, or whatever. And if you use that, you can borrow it. I don't care. You don't need to pay me for it.
Thank you.
But how long do you see going on with this, behind this album, before you're moving on to the next project with Jess and the Ancient Ones?
Well, we maybe we're up to something.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are so mysterious. Seriously, like I love it. It's like you're like, oh, maybe we're up to something, and I'm just like, I want to know now. You know? So.
Yeah, we are we have a rehearsal day once in a week, sometimes 2 times in a week, and of course now we had a gig in Helsinki last weekend.
Which is fantastic from what I saw. I saw a clip of it. It was like really,
did you?
Yeah. I think I saw it on YouTube. Oh no. It wasn't the last one. It was a previous gig then, I'm thinking. Because it wasn't that recent. I've seen so many clips of you guys popping up on YouTube from just the different dates that you guys are doing over there that it's like I feel like it's the only way I get to see you live. You know, so
yeah, it will happen someday.
I know. Well, so my other question, and I've talked to Tommy about this, and I said, do you guys need to start recording your live shows or something? You know, like to archive them, because the live performances are just so stellar. You know, like
true.
Do you kind of see yourself? Hopefully doing some more of that, like maybe like just recording them from the soundboard or something, like you know, just for posterity.
That's a great idea. It would be nice to have a, you know, kind of live record or some kind of DVD or stuff like that. I don't know how hard it is to do things like that, but
you guys played a beautiful venue. I don't know what the name of I can't remember what show it was. And I saw it on YouTube again. And it was like a big theater. And it looked like there was a big screen behind you guys that had all kinds of cool, like, visuals on the screen.
It was in my hometown. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I saw that, because when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that would have made that would be like a perfect place to do like a live DVD where you could really, you know, capture like a whole, you know, the visuals and everything of the band. I thought that was how was that to play such a show in your hometown?
Well, it was very exciting because my grandmothers were.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And my father's mother said after the gig, I'm wondering, you must have good lungs to yell like that. And I was like, well, thank you, Grandma, thank you.
You must have good lungs. Obviously, you don't smoke, right? You know, because you're like,
no.
My lungs are very good, Grandma. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
But I mean,
really, not so much people, like 30 or something, and it was like big audience and all those, you know, empty chairs. So.
But it looked great. I'm so glad somebody captured it, though, you know?
Yeah.
So, what is a song that you absolutely love to sing live every night? Like, when you guys... Like, what's probably your favorite one to really...
You and I's.
You and I's? Yeah? What is it about that one?
Well, it's so different kind of forms. It kind of starts with this groovy thing.
Right.
Then you yell, and there's so much different kind of things, and it's interesting to sing it.
I just love how it starts off. It starts off so slow, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a mellow song," and all of a sudden, and I'm like, "Oh, that's great!" It's like so groovy, you know. But I mean, so like, what about the other aspect of it? Like, what's a song that you haven't played live in a while, or if ever, that you kind of say like, "Oh, I wish we could do this one"?
Goodbye, Virgin Grounds.
That's the one I told Tommy. I said, I said I would fly to Finland just to hear you guys play that in its entirety. And he said it would be our whole concert because we only play for like 45 minutes or so. Have you kind of thought about doing that? I mean, like I could imagine that. I mean, because of the length of it, it would take a long time. But
yeah,
I bet playing it live would be amazing.
Yes, we have. And I'm trying to talk to boys to do it, but I understand it's hard too if you have if you go to festivals or stuff like that, you have the 45 minutes or 1 hour to play.
Right.
So it should be some kind of special event when you're going to do it because it's so long.
Now, I noticed you said you do play to kind of smaller crowds. Have you seen your fan base building or growing more and more with each album and tour?
Yeah, in Finland, I think so, because now when we released the last record, The Horse and the Other Weird Tales, I noticed that the smaller places we went after the second psychedelic coming, there were more people now than in the first time. So yes.
And what about North America? Do you get a lot of correspondence or from fans here in the States?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
We have from Facebook. People are asking when you're coming back, and yeah.
I can see, because it would be really cool to see Jess and the Ancient Ones come over as part of a really cool thing. But I just have a feeling I'm going to end up my friend jokes all the time and says we just need to go to Finland and just follow them around for 5 or 6 shows and then just come home. Because we want to see you guys so bad again. Because the first time was just oh man, I wanted more than just the 45 minutes I got when you guys played with King Diamond here. So
yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Let me see. What are you listening to a lot these days?
Music?
Yeah.
Well, different kind of music, because I'm studying in conservatory at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
And singing is my main course, and so I have had listening a lot of classical music and jazz over these months, but also my all-time favorite is the Graveyard. I always get back to it. And let me think. I think because I don't have so much time to listen to music nowadays, so last time I listened to Mastodon when I went running. It's good for it, yeah. And also different kind of music. I love rock and roll and blues and things like that, but I also listen every kind of music if it's good music.
Right. When you guys toured with King Diamond, though, that had to be such a cool feeling to know that he picked you guys to just be the opening act.
It's crazy.
Did you learn a lot on that tour of North America? What were some of your favorite things about being in the U.S., being that you'd never been here before?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a strange feeling because, of course, I have watched really many of American movies when I was younger, and nowadays still I watch. So it's kind of, I felt like the places are somehow familiar to me. It's a strange feeling. I don't know. I can't really explain it. But what was the question again? Oh no! It was like what were some of your favorite? What was some of your favorite things about being in the States that you? No, well, of course, the whole the King Diamond, how they did the things on. We learned so much, we saw how the kind of bigger
production.
What's the thing? Production,
Yeah.
yes. How it goes, and I love to see all the places, all the venues. We saw the venues were like, wow. And also Rocky Mountains, because we drew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Grand Canyon. To see things, because I'm really into natural people, nature.
Yeah.
Nature.
There you go.
I'm really
Right.
into nature. Yes.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that kind of part of the trip. Of course, we didn't have time to do it much, but some little pieces there and there. And also the San Francisco, we went to the Muirwood. What's the word? There are these big trees.
Oh, the Redwood Forest?
Yeah. It was amazing.
See, and what about the food? I'm always curious to ask my friends about it, because American food is very odd for Europeans.
Well, it was nice to notice that there were, like, we went to the big markets and bought food. There were organic products.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they weren't so expensive because here in Finland, I think everything, like the food and clothes, they're very expensive. So it was cheaper there.
Right.
And also we went to lots of Chinese places to eat. And of course, there's somewhere good and somewhere not good. But I remember that we also went to this Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Place. It was horrible. Yes, there was. Yeah, we have this same kind of places in Finland, but they are comparing that. They are nothing. But also in the Golden Corral, you had salads and stuff like that. If you can choose to eat healthy,
Right.
what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. And also in the venues, the food was very good.
Yeah. I just love that everybody talks about, like, when they come over from Europe, they talk about Golden Corral and they talk about Waffle House, which is like,
there I didn't go. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I'm taking you all to Waffle House next time you come, because it's just like it's like breakfast all day and all night.
Yeah.
But yeah, Golden Corral's the worst.
Yeah.
It's just like,
that's what I was that was, how do you say it? That the American food, that there's sugar everywhere.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Was like,
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It's and I can also imagine it's hard to eat healthy on the road, Like when you're on tour, it's hard to eat healthy because you're moving constantly.
Yeah.
And you don't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah, that's true, but it's your own choice, of course. And then we had the refrigerator, so it was easy kind of buy food there and take.
So, like, in addition to being a rock goddess, you're also like a mom. So how hard is it to balance or juggle the music dream and being a mom?
Being a mom is a dream to me too. I don't know. It just goes. I don't know how to answer that, because it's so natural.
But it's not hard to do both, you don't think?
No, of course, if you're in a longer tour, it's, of course, when you're missing your family.
Yeah.
But no other hard feelings.
Right. So how old is your daughter now?
4.
4? Does she have an idea yet that like mom is a like a rock and roll musician? Does she kind of get it yet?
I don't know. She always says to me that don't sing, don't play. She don't want to hear.
Tell her to get her own band. Say you're not in the band. You don't get to tell me what to do. So what's next for you? Like, what are you guys doing? Are you guys doing some more shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next week we're going to Glasgow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The first time. It's a festival, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that'll be great. And I noticed you said you're a huge Graveyard fan, because I know we have the same Graveyard t-shirt, which I was like, we should call Graveyard and say, hey, bring Jess and the Ancient Ones over to the U.S. for a tour, you know?
Oh, that would be great.
Oh my God! Yeah, because I'm actually friends with their guitar player Jonathan Ram, and so I need to say, hey, call Jess and the Ancient Ones. Bring them over to the U.S. Come on, dude. Because they brought Spiders last time. I don't know if you know who Spiders are, but they're a band. They're a band from Sweden. And I was like, come on, man. You guys brought Spiders last time. Bring Jess and the Ancient Ones this time. You know, so I'll have to put in a good word for you. Because that would be an amazing show. We have me and my friend, again, my friend James. We always talk about that. Could you imagine seeing like Jess and the Ancient Ones and Graveyard together? Like our heads would just explode. You know, it would just be like, I don't know that we could handle it. It would just be too much, you know. But you guys are such a wonderful band and so talented, and you've put out some of my favorite music, and you've also become a very good friend, and like it's so cool to see you guys experiencing, you know, some success and some growth. But I just love that you just keep putting out good music. Are there any like demos that have never been released that we might get to hear someday?
No. They are demos, but I think they're not going to be public.
They're not going to be public. I actually heard from Tommy that you guys first did a Danzig song together.
What song?
He said you guys did a Danzig song together when you first joined the band. I forgot which one it was. He said you guys did.
Devil's Plaything.
Devil's Plaything. That I want to hear. I want to hear that. I bet that was awesome.
And we also played Rocky Erickson, Night of the Vampire.
No.
And Two-Headed Dog. We have played Two-Headed Dog in gigs.
Really?
Yes.
Now see, and the other thing also that leads me to the other question. Like, I love the fact that you guys called the album The Horse, but the song The Horse didn't show up. What happened to The Horse?
Well, we had that song called, I can't remember its name. It was Pale White Horse or something. Yeah. Horse something. And we played that song in the gigs.
Right.
And you can find that song, I think, in YouTube.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times. Yeah. But it just didn't work out, so it didn't end up to the record. Well, we'll have to figure something out, because maybe I can get like a special Friends demo or something with all the good stuff.
No, all right. Maybe.
No, I love that though. But seriously, I'm so glad you took the time out to talk to me today and all that good stuff. And it's just so nice to just finally get to kind of hear, you know, from you, because I feel like we don't ever get to hear from the mighty Jess. And so mighty, I know you really are. But
huge.
But so I guess in parting, where do you see yourself in the next, say, like 5 years or so?
Wow, it's a good question. Doing music, I hope.
Yeah.
and doing arts, because I also paint and watercolor and marker works. So
that's incredible.
Thanks.
So you do a little bit of everything.
Not everything, but things.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm super excited to hear your solo material, so obviously you said we'll probably hear that in like a year or so, maybe, right? You said?
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing guitar on it?
I hope so. I'm trying so hard to learn how to play, and I'm getting there.
I love that classic amp that you have.
It's great.
Seriously?
The sound, perfect.
Oh, see, that's so cool. It must be exciting for you to be learning new material, like learning these new ways of creating music, and like you're learning to play the guitar, and you're playing some piano, and you're writing the lyrics and stuff. Oh, that was the question I forgot to ask you. Was it lyrically from your own material? What inspires the lyrics that you write for your own material? Like, what does that make sense? Like, what is your inspiration for your words?
Environment, I must say, nature, all the things that is happening. See in the nature, seasons changing. You can see and hear so much if you just go to the woods and hear and listen what's happening. And also everything, people around me, my own thoughts. There's always something to pick up,
Yeah. I love that concept, though, of like you said, like kind of going to nature and just listening, and kind of getting some inspiration. I just saw your puppy dog in the background.
She has that kind of, satellite, because we have 3 dogs, and 2 of them had fight, and she has a nasty bite mark and stitches in her leg, and she has to wear the how do you call that?
The cone. Yeah. We actually call it the party hat around here.
Okay.
I like that you call it the satellite, though. That's much cooler. I think I'd rather call it the satellite, because it looks like a space dog, But that is so great, though. I'm so excited for your material, and I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited for Jess and the Ancient Ones, and I'm just super excited that we got to do our little conversation. So.
Me too.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Like, would you like to send out a message to any of the Jess and the Ancient Ones fans that are listening to this, or?
Listen to yourselves, listen to your heart, what it desires, and because I think world is a very crazy place to live, And I'm not sure that is everybody, kind of awake what's happening around. Like, I hope that people will be happy and find their places, who they are, get to know themselves.
Obviously, the political climate here in the United States is very crazy. Obviously,
Yeah.
Are you feeling any kind of effect of it from like where you guys are at? Because I'm not very familiar with your politics over there, but are you kind of feeling any kind of effect of the craziness that's happening here in the States over there, or do you guys just look at us and go, "You poor people"?
Well, I don't know. Everything affects to everything. So, but I don't much, what's Saarela? the news. I
Right.
don't so often, what's that word? Take kind of articles there and there, or see some headliners. Sometimes I watch news from the TV, but it's so strange that I feel like how do I don't belong? How do I belong to all this? You know, there's so much that I don't share with kind of the mainstream mentally, or because I don't follow the news so much.
Right.
But of course, they talk about it, the Trump, and in the news,
And his hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
His crazy ass hair,
Yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of like you're outsider, and you're looking what the other people are up to.
That's my dog, Cassie. She's getting antsy. She wants to play. So,
she's cute.
Oh, she's a pain in the ass, but I love her. She's my kid. I have to love her. So, well, cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and we should do this again sometime. Definitely.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I will. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.